This is Rachel with Pretty and Plants, and today I'm going to be putting an orange tree into Leca. Okay, so this is my Leca, and my assistant. Michael, you might need a towel for your knees.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sitting down.
Everything I put in my videos, I link below. This is my kneeling pad. I use it. I always transfer my larger things outside. I have a dirt graveyard, and I'm going to be having an assistant today. Michael,
Yeah.
come back over this way.
Okay.
My assistant today, Michael. Can you say hello?
Hi.
So I have 5 kids, 2 dogs, a cat, and a very hungry husband, which is why I normally don't chat during certain parts of my video. But someone asked that I chat. So here we are chatting this orange tree, which is Michael's proud new plant, out of its dirt and put it into Leca. So let's get started. So I always kneel when I do this. What I do is you have this large orange tree, and you're going to turn it on its side like this. It's hard to see this. And you're gonna start rolling it. While you do that, I'm gonna fix the camera. Okay. Yeah, you're basically trying to get, the dirt out.
The poor little oranges.
The poor orange tree, that's right. So what I can do from here is kind of, you're gonna get the dirt out of the top. So you take your gloved hand and you're gonna move it out. You're gonna hit it like that. Yeah, a little massage. You can see the dirt coming out, and then you're just going to lift it out like this, and then you're gonna start fingering the dirt. Take your fingers underneath and finger the dirt onto the ground like that. Yeah, you're fingering it all off. Can you finger it? Massaging the dirt, and you're just massaging it all around, all around. Then you'll shake it a little bit, massage it out.
Look at all those roots.
Look at all of those roots. That's why it's dry so much, because it's root bound. That's when the roots, it's more roots than dirt. That's when it needs a new home for the roots. And just massage it, massage it. Okay, and then shake it. I like it when I shake it.
Oh,
There we go.
poor Tucker. Oh.
Yeah, we're trying to get all of this dirt out of the roots. Okay, got that? You know what? It's pretty good. It's mostly roots, not very much dirt. So what do you need to do when a plant is mostly roots and not very much dirt? Do you know?
Leca.
Yeah, Leca, but you repot the plant. And normally if it's going into dirt, what kind of plant pot do you put it in?
A medium-sized one.
Well, should it be this size?
Bigger.
Bigger, right. You're always going to go 1 to 2 inches bigger, or you can put it in the ground. Why don't you go get the spray that says Super Thrive on it real quick? It's under the sink and it's yellow. Okay. Okay, so we have gotten most of the dirt off of this plant. As I said, this is going to go out on the balcony, or it could go on the front porch. I don't know yet. All I know is we have lots of sun outside, and fruit trees love the sun. And so this first season, or this first year that we have this tree, I'm just training it to live in Leca. And whenever you convert a tree or any plant to Leca, you want to give it the most optimal living conditions for at least a few weeks. You want, if it likes a lot of sun, give it a lot of sun.
I have spray.
Oh good, you have spray. So Michael here is gonna spray it with a Super Thrive. So you're gonna get closer and spray the roots really, really well. more and more. You're just spraying, spraying, spraying. So what I like to do is spray with Super Thrive. After I get the dirt out, I try to get the Super Thrive all in these roots. It's going to be shocked because you're taking it out of dirt. So I make a Super Thrive foliar spray and have it on hand. And then anytime I transfer, I'm going to spray with Super Thrive. Now, when I put this in leca and water it for the first time, I don't do very much to it. I don't do nutrients or anything like that. I just do water. The first couple of waterings, you're kind of getting it used to not having dirt anymore. And then after, you can kind of tell when it's starting to get happy, or around 3 to 4 weeks, you can go ahead and add some nutrients to your water. Now, fruit trees are going to be kind of my focus this year. I've done 125 houseplants in leca. I've probably done more than that. A few died. But this year I'm focusing on the balcony and fruit trees. And then my goal, because I have really tall spaces, is to bring these trees indoors for the winter. So that looks really good. Yeah, spray it a few more times. There we go. Now, what we need to do, Michael, is find a pot. Now see this pot, that's a pretty big pot. So now we know we need something comparable to this pot, which I don't know if we have. So we're gonna go look for a pot and we'll come back. See how this pot has kind of big holes. One thing you can do is if you have 2 of these pots, you can put them inside of each other, and the big holes on the bottom won't leak out the leca because you can move the holes around, but you need 2 of them. The other thing I can do is coffee filters where those holes are. I don't like that method as much because I really can't tell what's going on with this, with the plant and with the leca when there's a coffee filter in there. But you can do that. You can use the nursery pot you brought it in. The roots really filled up this whole pot, so technically I could kind of use this pot again, but I'd like to go bigger. I actually like to go a lot bigger. So we're gonna look for a pot and come back. Okay, so I'm back. This is the only thing I could find. These are pots from Easy Grow Hydro. I will put his link down below. Jerry Harmon is the owner of Easy Grow Hydro. He has been growing things in leca for over 30 years. So any advice that you hear from me, for the most part, I got from Jerry. I just picked up the phone. So much about leca. There's so much about passive hydroponics on the internet and YouTube. Do a lot of research, but don't be afraid to just step off and do it, especially now. It's a great time to transfer your plants. So, but the only problem with this one, this is the biggest one I have, is it's still a little small for this plant. Like, I don't like how the roots are. So this is what I do. It's probably completely unethical. Is I'm going to, what I actually like to do is, you know what, actually it's not too bad. Once I look at these roots, they kind of squish up a little bit. What's so big down here is actually this stake that's kind of holding it. I'm gonna move the stake up just slightly. Okay, that's better. So it doesn't have to have such a deep thing. And Michael's gonna put leca in the bottom of this bucket. There we go. So we're gonna do the leca probably, they keep going, probably an inch of leca, and then we'll put the roots.
Couple bananas.
Okay, I think one more scoop. I think that's pretty good. The bigger the plant, I feel like it can have a little more leca at the bottom. That's pretty good. Now I need the volcanic pumice, which is behind you, and it's white rock. Shoot. All right, so it's just a little too much. Oh, there's a big root at the bottom. Okay. That big root is going to be our problem because these will move around. I'm going to move this stake up.
Just scoop or the whole thing?
Even more. I carry it under the bottom, probably the whole thing. Because you don't want these roots. I don't want these roots to be kind of showing like that. I kind of don't want that. So I'm going to take out a little bit of leca this has to work because I can't go get something else right now. Okay, so I'm gonna pour out some of this leca. Get a little bit less in the bottom. Oh, can you put it a little closer? Okay, that's pretty good. This is pretty good. See, there's still roots, but they're not quite as tall. I'm gonna get a little more of the dirt off. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I love this, and I link all of these things. This is my OXO scooper. I love this. It's super expensive, but it's silicone, and so if you're going in like a tiny pot, it's flexible. Sometimes I don't have it on my show because I can't find it. This is volcanic pumice, and I'm going to pour it in there. Let me get this up. My assistant has completely abandoned the scene. Okay. The reason I like volcanic pumice is it can get all around these really fine roots. And so when I use pumice, I like to do 1 scoop of pumice and 1 scoop of leca. So here's a scoop of leca, and I'm gonna do more than 1. There we go, okay. So just a little leca to kind of stir in. The pumice can kind of clump if it's just pumice, so I do both. I'm actually pretty happy with this setup. All right.
Are we gonna do more pumice?
Yes, I'm gonna do 1 more leca. So when you mix the leca and the pumice, the other thing that it will do is provide stabilization. So if it's just leca, your tree will fall over. And I link, again, the volcanic pumice down below. But if you can see, I'm going to try to lift it up a little bit. Now I'm going to start shaking and get those down below. I didn't have a saucer to, put this in. Like normally, if you'll see, it has lots of holes underneath, and I can do a saucer underneath. But I don't have a saucer. So for just today, until I get to Lowe's, I'm gonna put it in a bucket. Let's put this closer to me. Here's my leca bucket.
There's some leca in there.
Okay. There we go. And again, this is kind of my dirty leca. It's kind of leca I've already used, and I have a dirty leca bucket. But when I do fruit trees or outdoor trees, I just don't seem to care as much about the purity of every piece of dirt getting off or any of that kind of stuff. Now, I would probably bring, the cool thing about fruit trees and leca is you can bring them indoors during the winter more easily. It's a lot more lightweight. And then I just don't have to water it as often if I want to keep it in a bucket. I will probably transfer this to a larger pot next year. This is pretty small. This is pretty small for this, but this is all I have right now, and so just use what you have. If you have leftover Chinese takeout cups that you can see through and that's kind of opaque and clear, you can poke a hole in the bottom about 1 inch up from the bottom and use that until, everything gets going again and we can go to the store. Okay, so I'm gonna put more volcanic. And again, this will just stabilize, more leca please. It'll help stabilize this plant to have all this volcanic in there. It retains the minerals really, really well. So when you do your feeding, the roots seem to love the volcanic pumice and will grow into it. And then when you repot it, you will have to do a bigger pot, but I'm okay with that because it's a fruit tree. It is gonna need a bigger pot in the next year or two. Okay, so I'm shaking it down. And I'm feeling really good. Okay, more leca. So what I kind of want on the top is just leca because I want it to, that appearance I think is so visually, aesthetically pleasing. So there it is. That pop-up is again from Easy Grow Hydro. You don't have to have a pop-up. The pop-up doesn't really help me between waterings. The main thing it helps me with is just when I water. I see it pop up just slightly and I know, okay, that's enough water for this plant. That's the main thing I use the pop-up for. Between waterings, I don't use it quite as much to gauge because the pop-up goes down pretty quickly. It's just when I know it's watering day, I use it more. So this is, I think this is good. So I can kind of look in the little slots on this one. It looks nice and compact in there. It's holding, it's not falling over. So this is my orange tree. And what we're gonna do, because I don't have something to go underneath, I'm just gonna put it in this big ugly bucket. And then when I get a chance, I'll get something to go underneath and then transfer it to the balcony. And probably what we'll do is we're gonna water it until this little pop-up comes up just slightly. Will you go get the hose? Let's turn it on. It's gonna be a pain to get it out of this bucket. Okay, that is gorgeous. What a gorgeous tree. And what I like to do is, once I get a saucer to go underneath this, that even comes up the sides a little bit, I'm gonna have to search for that because I probably need a 12-inch saucer. Then what I do is I put the saucer in a beautiful basket and use it as a decorative piece on the balcony or the front porch. Oop, it still has, so this is a Miho Mandarin Orange, produced in Texas. But yeah, I am pretty excited about this. So this year, my goal for the year was to put fruit trees in leca, and I've successfully done an olive tree and a Japanese blueberry tree. So we're just going to use the hose because I've already sprayed it with the Super Thrive. This is the Super Thrive spray. You only need to buy a bottle one time, and then you can get the little concentrated drops. I think it's like 6 drops, and then fill it with water. And that's a foliar spray. I like to use it on the roots to kind of, when the roots are shocked, when you're moving it. Yeah, so I like to prevent the shock. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. And, oh, perfect. Okay, now it's gonna be pretty quick. All right, so I'm going to tell you when to go and when to stop. So here we go. And y'all can't see very well. I can kind of see the red thing. Okay, go. Okay, stop. Okay. It's a little bit high. All right, so that's what's difficult about this setup is I can't take out this bucket very easily. I'm kind of okay with it, even though it's really, really high, because actually I'm not okay with it being that high. I'm gonna try and, oh, no, it's still too much water. Is if it's in a situation like this where it's hard to pour out, now I'm kind of committed to this bucket and being stuck in the bucket for, you know, until I get a different setup. I siphon the water off. Did you find it? Okay. All right, I found the tube. It's just like a plumbing tube, silicone. So what I do is I put it down in the bucket, and then what I'm gonna do is I am going to, this is gross, but, well, first I'll see if it'll just do it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna suck on the end.
Did you just drink that water?
Okay, I need you to hold the bucket up.
Okay. Wait, which bucket?
Slightly, hold it up just a little. Very carefully, okay. Because we're trying to siphon off the, there you go.
That's disgusting.
The water. Okay. Okay, try to make it real flat on the bottom. There we go. Yes. All right, so that siphoned off just a tube, and I have dirt on my lips. Siphoned off the, talk about coronavirus. Yeah, that siphoned off the excess water. Now we're all good. Keep one of, if you have it, great. Just keep this somewhere, like, just in case this happens to you. And your orange tree. Hope y'all love that. Happy planting. So I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I got the dirt off my lips and my teeth, and the plant turned out great. So I know this was a longer video than I normally do, but wanted to really cover all the bases when I transfer a plant out of dirt into leca. I will say I did one late in the year. I did the olive tree late in the year last year. I was very unhappy. A lot of it died, and I had it the wrong proportion, this tiny root ball and this huge leca. But it was on the balcony, so I didn't really care if it looked dead. And I left it out there all winter long. And I would just pour off, I'd let the roots dry out, I'd pour off the water, and then about a week later, I'd put more water in. And this year, it's completely coming back and getting green leaves. So don't despair if it doesn't look super great at the beginning. It is very shocking for a tree to be stripped of its dirt and to be moved around. The Super Thrive does help with that. So comment down below if you love Super Thrive or if you've had a good experience with it. We'd love to hear your experiences with Super Thrive. It for today. I cannot wait to do some more plantings for you. I need to move some things out of dirt. You saw the huge rickrack cactus behind me. I'm going to be doing that one. So love y'all. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.